Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. This is Tenz, and today I just wanted to do a video talking a little bit about my reflections and realizations that I've had throughout quarantine. And I actually have a few summaries of different lessons that I've learned in this journal that I've been keeping throughout this whole time, because I actually looked through some past pages over the past few months and just took down some of the common themes that I saw in my writing. And yeah, so I hope that you enjoy, and let's get started. For my first one, I realized that gratitude is something that has taken on a new definition for me. As I was looking through my journal, I think I wrote down a gratitude bullet list of things that I'm grateful for at least 2 times a week, starting from March. And as I was reading through that list, a lot of the things that I've been grateful for repeated itself. For instance, like my mom's health, my health, the fact that I can still go take walks in the evening and physically move my body, and the fact that I can stay connected with my friends through FaceTime and social media. I think that those were the things that kept repeating itself. And as I looked into that a bit more, I've been realizing that at the end of the day, since the fact that it was a constant throughout the past few months shows me the reality of just how important those things are, like your physical health, your access to a roof over your head, the fact that you have these meaningful friendships. Like, that is something that it's really easy to take for granted, especially before quarantine, because for me it always felt like a given. Like, yes, I'm healthy, I can move my body, and I have these friends that I know that are great, but it takes sometimes this horrible situation with the world to realize that it's those little simple things that are actually so significant to our life, and that are actually the big things, like our health. And so in that sense, I feel like gratitude has become such a deeper practice for me, because at the end of the day, our health and the people in our life and the fact that we can stay healthy with access to food is all that we have. And this pandemic has really showed me that. And so I had to make sure that I added that to my gratitude list, or as one of my reflections for quarantine. And so the next thing I said kind of has more to do with something that's been part of my self-love and self-care routine, which is the fact that sometimes you just have to dance it out. And usually what I mean by this is I really love putting on my earphones, blasting some music, and just being like dancing in front of the mirror and just going wild, I guess. And that's been something that has been so good for my soul, I feel like. And I'm always in such a lighter and like fun mood afterwards. So that's definitely something that I've done that before too, like before quarantine, but it's taken on a whole nother level of appreciation now. And I want to continue doing that as I move forward. And so another like self-love revelation that I had, because I've been trying to embark on a self-love and self-care journey, because it's something that I didn't know a lot about even a year ago. I kind of knew what the word meant. Like, I heard it a couple times before. Now that I'm in a post-grad state, I want to make sure that I actually incorporate this into my daily life. But so the next thing revolving around self-love is making sure that I love myself in every phase and stage in my life. And I say that because, kind of going back to what I said about gratitude, it's so easy to feel grateful and like love yourself when everything in your life is pretty normal and everything is going according to plan and it's kind of all laid out for you. it's so easy, it's kind of a given to just be content. But now with all this uncertainty in the world, and like I know for me, there's still a lot of things are up in the air and I really don't have it all figured out. So being in this confusing state almost has shown me that self-love is an active, conscious choice to love yourself and be okay with yourself and accept your current circumstances for what it is, and not letting it define you, and not letting it, you can let it bring out certain emotions, but being able to feel them and then letting them go has been huge to my growth, and also to, I feel like, the meaning of self-love, because you always want to stay true to yourself and acknowledge what you're thinking and what you're feeling, but you also want to help yourself by using that as fuel to just keep pushing, and recognize that yes, everything might not be ideal and perfect right now for your situation and whatever else you're going through, but it is only drive, it's only going to serve you as a bigger drive to focus on the next goal and accomplish more going forward. So yeah, I feel like because so many things are like a question mark right now in the world, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate with plans being changed and moves being canceled and all that stuff, that we really have to be okay at the end of the day and be self-loving, knowing that even if all the stuff around me changes and everything doesn't work out as planned, like, I still got me, and we're gonna do the best we can with what we've got. That is pretty huge to, I feel like, what self-love is. But yeah, that was a ramble, so apologize. The next thing I would say that kind of has to do with what I just said is the fact that sometimes we cannot control and dictate what happens in our external environment and surroundings, but we do to an extent have power over ourselves and our well-being and our inner thoughts and feelings. And when you realize that you are in control of your state of mind and how you feel on the inside, not only about yourself but just about others and about circumstances, that is when you can maintain inner peace. And so I feel like only good things that aid in your personal growth can come from you being the person who's steering your own ship, you know? I don't know if that's a good analogy, but I don't know. The next thing I would say has to do with, I guess, friendships and connections. I wrote down the fact that social distancing has been interesting because it's something that I've definitely become accustomed to at this point, and it's been this new normal that I've been in is something. And at the beginning it was hard because of course I missed seeing my friends physically and going out and socializing and meeting new people, but now it's definitely become, like I said, the new normal. And I have learned that I actually do enjoy spending quality time with myself, and I am comfortable being alone, and that's so freeing in a way. And of course, like, we still have technology and social media, so with that being said, I almost feel like my conversations with friends and the connections that I've developed with them have become even greater and just deeper because of the fact that our friendship takes on a whole new meaning now. And with our current state of our world and not being able to physically see each other in person, I almost feel like I've been, ironically, I feel more connected to people, even if it's had to have been through FaceTime or virtual, because now we're talking about the stuff that's really important, like how they're really doing and what's been going on in their life, and how the current state of the world has affected them in all aspects of their life. So I do think that it's wild, but this new social distance world has almost fostered deeper and more intentional friendships and connections, because yeah, it's just something that everyone is affected by in some way, shape, or form. And last thing that I will mention, because I can already tell this video is going to go way too long if I don't cut it out soon. The last thing I will say is boundaries. And boundaries is something that I also, in terms of like my self-love journey, boundaries is another thing that I, similar to that, did not know much about, and I didn't fully grasp that concept. And recently I've been seeing it all over social media as a huge buzzword, and been reading a lot of posts about it. And I, of course, don't have a full idea yet as to how to implement boundaries in your daily life and how to do it in a healthy way, and in all aspects of your life. That's something I'm definitely not a professional at words. I am not an expert or professional at that, but I have been learning how to be more comfortable vocalizing what my boundaries are without really saying these are my boundaries, but being more comfortable with speaking my truth, I guess, and staying true to myself, which is ultimately the way that you can show your boundaries. And yeah, like even with social distancing, I've definitely have had to express before within the past couple months that I'm not comfortable doing that yet, because I don't want to be around a bunch of people. Like that is, in a sense, a boundary. And I'm coming to learn that boundaries are a form of self-love. But yeah, that was the last thing that I had. And there's definitely more things that I wrote. Like I have a few notes on my laptop, but they definitely intertwine with some of the other things I just mentioned and kind of feed off of each other. And so I'm not gonna mention those. So if you stuck through to the end, until the end of this video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if any of these things that I mentioned in this video resonated with you or that you could relate to, please give this video a thumbs up. And also please comment below if you had any personal revelations or lessons that you learned during quarantine and are continuing to learn. That would be so great. I would love to read those. And if you would like to see more videos, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you